MK Party says KZN Cogta financial misconduct allegations show collapse of so-called GNU. The Umkhonto weSizwe party is falling for an independent investigation into financial conduct at KwaZulu-Natal's Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Cogta. KZN Cogta MEC Reverend Thulasizwe Buthelezi welcomed the suspension of officials, including Chief Financial Officer and Director of Supply Chain Management, which comes after allegations of financial misconduct that occurred in the run-up to the May 2024 elections. While these suspensions are a small step towards accountability, they represent a glaring failure of the ANC-led government and crumbling so-called government of national unity in KZN, said MK Party spokesperson Nhlamulo Ndhlela. He said this latest scandal is merely another episode in a long history of corruption, mismanagement, and a lack of oversight. The ANC's failure to manage Cogta has left municipalities in financial ruin, traditional leaders neglected, and basic service delivery unattainable for many communities in the province. The Auditor General's recent report further emphasizes the extent of this dysfunction. It paints a bleak picture of widespread corruption, irregular expenditures, and blatant disregard for financial controls under ANC of Ramaphosa's leadership. Time and time again, funds intended for the development of KZN's people have been squandered while officials in positions of power enriches themselves with impunity. The collapse of the so-called GNU only exacerbates these failures, Ndhlela said. He added that initially conceived as a collaborative effort to stabilize governance, the GNU has instead become a symbol of political infightings, ineffectiveness, and a lack of vision. The people of KZN are left bearing the brunt of this failure, with municipalities collapsing under the weight of corruption and mismanagement, Ndhlela said. He said while MEC Buthelezi asserts that these suspensions indicate a move towards good governance, the MK Party remains skeptical. Ndhlela said the ANC of Cyril Ramaphosa has consistently demonstrated a preference for protecting its own interests over meaningful reform. While these suspensions may provide temporary relief, they are merely symbolic without a comprehensive overhaul of the governance system and a commitment to eradicating corruption. The MK Party firmly believes that the people of KwaZulu-Natal deserve a government that prioritizes accountability, transparency, and the well-being of its citizens. The era of empty promises and superficial actions has come to an end. We call for an independent investigation into the financial misconduct within Cogta and for those found guilty to face the full consequences of the law. Only then can we begin to restore trust in governance and offer hope to the people of this province, Ndhlela said. He said the ANC of Cyril Ramaphosa has unequivocally proven that it cannot be trusted to lead KZN or any other part of the country. On the other hand, Hlope fit for parliament, so why not the JSC? ActionSA to refer Hlope JSC matter to Constitutional Review Committee. ActionSA has announced its decision to refer the matter of John Hlope's eligibility for the Judicial Service Commission JSC to Parliament's Constitutional Review Committee following an interdict preventing his appointment of the JSC. IOL on Friday reported that legal action have been initiated by multi-organizations including the Democratic Alliance DA, Corruption Watch, Freedom Under Law, and AfriForum, who had expressed concerns about the legitimacy of Hlope's appointment. Hlope was nominated to serve on the JSC in July. However, the JSC had previously found him guilty of gross misconduct and he was impeached by Parliament. His impeachment follows the Judicial Conduct Tribunal's finding Hlophe guilty of trying to influence the outcome of former President Jacob Zuma's corruption charges in 2008. This move highlights what ActionSA perceives as a critical need of constitutional reforms to address contradictions in eligibility criteria for public office, what it called a clear constitutional blind spot. Lerato Ngobeni, ActionSA's parliamentary chief whip, said the fact that John Hlophe is a duly elected member of parliament under Section 47 of the Constitution, yet his fitness to serve on the JSC is called into question, presents a constitutional dilemma that must be addressed. Ngobeni said the party maintains that Hlophe's election to parliament signifies recognition of his competence and suitability to represent the people of South Africa. Yet the legal argument against his fitness to serve on the JSC raises important questions about the alignment of standards for different public offices. Ngobeni further emphasized, if Hlophe is deemed fit to serve as the leader of the official opposition in parliament, the same standards should be applied for his eligibility to fit on the JSC and other parliamentary committees. The contradiction between these standards exposes the urgent need for a consistent, transparent framework. To address this inconsistency, Ngobeni noted that the ActionSA plans to initiate a review process within the Constitutional Review Committee. The party aims to clarify the relevant legislation, rules, and frameworks, ensuring that eligibility standards for public office are aligned across all bodies. This, they argue, will safeguard the integrity of both Parliament and the JSC in future appointments. As we move forward, it is imperative that we ensure the integrity of Parliament and the JSC is not compromised by contradictory standards, Ngobeni said. And lastly, Zille must not be a crybaby. ANC Nomfula Mokonyane dismisses Helen Zille's retaliation threats over Celia's Brink's ouster. The African National Congress ANC has downplayed Helen Zille's threats of retaliation if Celia's Brinks is not reinstated as mayor of Tshwane. Brink was removed last week in an ANC-sponsored motion of no confidence supported by ActionSA and the Economic Freedom Fighters, EFF. Residents of Tshwane, especially in townships, have been complaining about lack of service delivery. Zille argued that failing to reinstate Brink could ruin future relations between the parties. The ANC national leadership held talks over recent weeks meant to save Brinks but gave the regional executive the go-ahead to proceed with the motion against him. This comes after the DA failed to offer a favor in return for sparing him. ANC First Deputy Secretary General Nomfula Mokonyane criticized Zille's approach, stating, Zille should not be a crybaby when the ball is not in their court. She emphasized that Zille lacked the authority to dictate ANC leadership decisions. Mokonyane was speaking to the media following a meeting with the representatives from the Communist Party of the Vietnam at Lutuli House on Monday. Mokonyane remarked that Zille's views were inconsistent, stating that the DA collaborates with others to undermine the ANC's potential in various regions. What Zille has raised is her own views, which are almost so consistent. They worked against the ANC in Northern Cape. They worked with the EFF to nominate a premier for the province. In the Western Cape, they were to other municipalities and worked with many other formations to undermine the potential of the ANC running those metros. There has to be consistency. We are not crybabies. When a decision is taken about us or people opt to collaborate, we don't have an issue. That's where we need to help Helen, she said. Mokonyane also expressed concern over Zille's indirect engagement with the ANC, stating it's unfortunate how Helen conducts herself. Furthermore, She reaffirmed the ANC's commitment to supporting processes that promote stability in Tshwane, adding, "We're not here to canvass for Brink." And that's it from INJIBS Network. Stay tuned to our gossip and celebrity news.